What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we do have a couple of things on the list that we are going to get done. One of them being we are going to try to get all of the wiring harness connected to all the different sensors, get that all buttoned up. Hopefully after that get the intercooler reinstalled, bolted in, get the new CSF Radiator and ETS upper intercooler pipes installed, and hopefully we'll be able to get that all done today. But before we do that, I did go ahead, do some off-camera work this week. We'll go over it right now, see where we're at. Okay, so I did go ahead and I made a short this week. Basically what I realized was that I did clean the entire turbo assembly, but for some reason I hadn't cleaned the actual O2 housing for the downpipe. So I went back, took all this off. I did go ahead and get that cleaned up. And then down here, I did decide to go ahead just from some comments in the last video and some friends that I talked to. Apparently, all the bottom studs for the exhaust manifold are low pressure oil passages. So basically the oil from the head drips down from them and gets back down into the pan from there. So in the comments, one of the homies, Jay Kiley, he did say that in the service manual, it says that there is no RTV required, but it's not a bad idea to throw some in there. So I did go back, I had already put some in the center stud from the last video. These two studs here, luckily, weren't too hard to get out. So I went back, RTV'd those. And then these last ones, which weren't ever taken out from me, I did see that there is gasket maker around the studs. So I didn't decide to go and take those out and re-gasket it, because I never really saw any oil seepage from those holes. And two, if it's already gasketed, I don't really want to mess with it. So I got that done. Did go back, bolt the downpipe in, got the return line for the turbo bolted to the oil pan for the new gasket. What else I went through? Just replaced the vacuum line here. Did go ahead and get the new heater core lines bolted in, well, I guess clamped in. One of the things I will say though is there's these clamps that do come with the hose set. One thing that I didn't notice, and honestly it's been racking my brain for a little bit and I feel kind of dumb that I didn't realize it before, but I will put a picture in here of one of the clips before I took the I guess safety off. But if you do look, there's like a little tab on top that has like a metal stick sticking up. I thought it was one of the clamps where you have to like have a special tool to bend it, kind of like the ear clamps. It isn't at all, it's just a regular spring clamp. That thing is just to keep the clamp open so you can get it over the hose. And then once you pull that thing off, it closes and tensions it. So I didn't realize that at first, but they're all in there now. So with that, why don't we go ahead and start trying to get all the connectors connected, get the wiring harness all settled, and then after that, then we can move on to the actual like hardware we're gonna install. So let's jump on it. Okay, so went ahead, got all of the connectors connected for the rear, the intake manifold, anything in the front, got the O2 sensor routed up here, this guy going through here, everything's connected. The only thing I am missing is a bunch of these connectors are all missing, like the clips. It looks like a staple that goes through and keeps it connected. Otherwise, they just kind of pop right off. So I'm gonna have to go online, order a bunch of those. Did go ahead, I got this guy all set up for the crank position, cam position sensor. I got the thermostat housing all set. Everything back here for the transmission. Went ahead. I'm missing some brackets to be able to connect these harness, like connecting points. So I did just go ahead and zip tie a bunch of stuff together. Just to get it up out of the way, away from the shifter linkage. But honestly, that's kind of a lot of work done, which is kind of just painful work that I didn't really want to do and didn't want to show on camera anyway. But I guess the next thing we're going to do is, before we do go ahead and try to get the radiator and the intercooler and all that done, I am going to go ahead and get the wastegate actuator bolted back on. And then once that's done, I guess I probably will go ahead and throw the intercooler on, since it's easier to get that in with the radiator not in. And then I guess we'll figure out what we're gonna do after that. Okay, it is like a week later. Having a new baby in the house and getting sick myself is like really kicking my butt this week. but I am back at it, ready to go. The plan is I am gonna go ahead and throw in the wastegate actuator like I had said, but I do wanna check out over here real quick. If you look on the bench, my intercooler is not looking super great. Obviously it's old, it's OEM. I looked it up. For some reason they do this where they paint it black on top. I don't really know why. If anybody does know, leave it in the comments. But it's looking pretty crusty. Obviously you can see a bunch of the fins are bent, but honestly right now, new intercooler just isn't in the budget. So at the very least, I'm gonna clean this guy up. I likely will get some new couplers, probably maybe just from ETS. Just because eventually I am going to go ahead and get the ETS pipe. Don't know if I'll do it before I get the car tuned or after and then have to get it retuned. Obviously it's smarter just to do it beforehand so I don't have to retune the car. But I'll probably go ahead and throw the wastegate in and come back over here, try to clean this up, and then we can go ahead and install the ETS stock route upper intercooler piping and the brand new CSF Radiator. Because honestly, I'm sick of the box sitting over there, so let's jump on it. So I mean, this procedure is obviously pretty easy. You just have to bolt it in here, 2 bolts, and then pull the arm over, put it over this guy, and then put a cotter pin through, so it's pretty easy. One of the things that I did notice when I was just kind of like looking around last night, just at whatever, on like the interwebs, I did notice on Evo 7 engines, there's what looks like the oil return line from the turbo. It's kind of like that sort of pipe where it's like wavy. And it comes across from here and here, goes over and then comes up back here. I don't know if it's like an EGR valve pipe, because like on my STI, there were pipes for the EGR that sort of looked like that. But it just seemed kind of weird to me. I didn't know if maybe it was for the oil returns. Like in this one where I've been saying you have to put the RTV on those studs for the exhaust manifold because of how the oil returns. I don't know if like maybe that was actually the oil return on the Evo 7 motors, and for the 8s and 9s they updated it. But I just thought it was a little bit weird, so if anyone does know, you know, what that's all about, drop in the comments, because honestly I'd be interested to find out. All right, get this guy pulled over. We should be good to go. I don't have a cotter pin at the moment. I have like a big one that I have, so I'm just gonna throw that in, then I'll go back and replace it. Okay, I lied. I do have the appropriate sized cotter pin. Okay, got that all set. Honestly, it's looking so clean down here now. I like can't stop looking at it. But with that, go ahead. We're gonna jump over to the bench and we're gonna start cleaning up the intercooler piping. Okay, so I lied. I am gonna go ahead and start with the core, just because I do want to clean up. I mean, this doesn't look too bad, but the top's pretty beat up. So I do want to try and sand this down a little bit. Hit it with some more spray paint just so it kind of looks nice. But I'm gonna take these guys off, separate this, start with that, paint it so it can dry faster, and then I'll probably jump on the intercooler piping after. So let's go. Kind of smells like coolant from when I accidentally punctured the radiator trying to extract the bolt that had broken off. If you want to see that, you should go check out one of my prior videos. It's pretty funny. I ended up destroying a bunch of stuff just trying to get one bolt out. So I probably will just go ahead, hit it with a microfiber, maybe some isopropyl alcohol, just to get everything cleaned up, and then we'll be ready to spray paint it. Okay, so you may notice I did change my shirt. I really did think I'd be able to wear one of my somewhat nicer shirts because I wouldn't have to like work with grease today, but it's already getting dirty, so here I am. I am ready to go. Went ahead and microfibered it, just cleaned it off. It's pretty smooth, so I'm just gonna hit it with this high temp grill paint. Not that it's like a high temp area, it's just a paint that I have that I know should last. So I'm just gonna give it a quick coat. Honestly, it's just like little stuff like this. Like, yeah, it wouldn't really matter. And to be honest, most people probably won't see the intercooler up top, but I mean, I'll know. Like at least, let's say I sell the car down the road, at least they're not getting like garbage. At least it's been somewhat refinished to look, you know, kind of nice. It's looking pretty solid. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this over there, let it dry, and we'll jump on the pipe. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna go ahead, take this coupler off, try to get this cleaned up. I'm really not gonna go that hard because to be honest, I'm probably gonna try to like sell some parts or something to get the funds and replace this with an ETS lower intercooler piping. It's only $195, which is kind of a lot of money, but to complete the setup, it's kind of worth it, I think. With that being said, if anyone needs a 2007 to 18 STI fuel pressure sensor kit, let me know. I have an extra one, and possibly even an AEM 340 liter. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead, get this guy cleaned up because it's pretty dirty. Okay, so we got it all set. It is cleaned up. It's not perfect. Obviously, there's still some spots in here that I didn't get, but honestly, it's just for me. It's not for anyone else to see, really, because you're not gonna see it. This guy is so old and crusty, but to be honest, it was so crusted on here, I shouldn't even have taken it off because, to be fair, I would probably never have a boost leak if I left that guy on, because like how crusted on it was. So what I will do is go ahead and get the intercooler core on. I do think the paint is dried, and then from there, we can start throwing on the upper intercooler piping. So let's go check out the core. Here she is. It was dry. I did go through and just clean up here on the pipes. You can see some of these are pretty destroyed, which does suck, but for a 20-something-year-old intercooler, it's hard to complain. But without further ado, let's get this guy in the car. Okay, so this guy is just gonna slide. I'm gonna go from the bottom, probably is easier. Really, there's only a couple of mounting points. One being this stud right here, next to the radiator fan, goes right there. This is all that was holding it on before when I got the car, and there wasn't even any kind of nut on here. So it fell on me when I was trying to remove something underneath the car. But luckily for us, I did have one extra nut from the exhaust manifold studs, the small ones, and it happens to be the same thread pitch. I'll get this guy on there so at least we know it'll stay in place. And the one other mounting point for the intercooler is right here. I didn't have a bolt that came with the car when I got it. It is just a 1.25 thread pitch on this guy. So as long as you have a bolt that's long enough, you can send it in, but that's gonna be it. All right, so here we have the ETS upper intercooler piping for the Evo 8. This is the stock route piping. Again, I'm not going for big power, so there really wasn't a reason for me to go with the shorter route. I'm only going from maybe at most like 350 wheel horsepower, so if you look, the kit does come with the one pipe that goes from the bottom of the intercooler up into the engine bay, and then this guy that couples from there and then goes up to the throttle body. This guy here. Now we have a port for the blow-off valve or bypass valve, depending on what your setup is. And then I opted for the IAT sensor because I am going to go speed density. It does come with 4 new, delicious, sexy looking V-band clamps. Can't go wrong with these, so let's get in the car. So first thing we are going to do is we're going to throw this guy over the throttle body. Take our V-band. There is one that's a little bit bigger. That's the one you use for this side of this coupler. It's a 73 to 81 millimeter. We're not going to tighten it all the way because we are going to have to adjust it at a certain point just so we can make sure that it fits properly, and then after everything's installed, then we'll tighten it down. So from everything I can see, this guy right here for the blow-off valve goes down towards the front facing down, so these guys are actually going to be kind of hidden. So from what I understand, this is just going to go, I probably should put the V-band on first. Sorry, not V-band, T-bolt. Should just go right in through here. Snug it down a little bit. I think we're gonna have to twist it just a wee bit. Okay, so I have figured out the routing. It is a little tricky, to be honest. One of the things I did notice though is this guy right here does have to be angled up kind of towards the ceiling a little bit in order to be able to clear everything over here and then still have the bypass valve or blow-off valve, whatever you're running, still clear over here. One thing I did notice that I did not notice before is that there is no coupler from the bottom where the intercooler is up into the first pipe right here, because this pipe right here connects to the intercooler and then goes up over here and connects to this guy with a coupler. There is no intercooler coupler, so I guess I am going to have to measure it and just get some, I guess. So I'll probably make sure I tighten this guy down probably just keep this guy in place. I'm going to throw the radiator in, and then in the next video, I'll probably go ahead and tackle the boost controller and the intake that I'm going to put on. I just have the STM intake. It's nothing special or anything. So I guess I'm going to go ahead, throw the radiator in, and then we'll just probably wrap the video up. All right, so here is the stock radiator that was on the car. I'm not sure if there's a brand on it or anything. I think it's just OEM. CSF is probably the closest you'll get to OEM, except the new one won't have all these bent fins. I gotta get this whole guy off and transferred onto the new radiator. Luckily for me, these guys don't look rusted. It's like the only thing on the car that might not be rusted. Transfer these rubber guys over, transfer one here, and then I have one in the car that fell off earlier. We'll just transfer it all over. But this guy right here is the new CSF radiator. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same. It's just a whole lot nicer. It definitely came with some bent fins on it, which is kind of a bummer, but I mean, it's a whole lot better than it was. So let's get that guy transferred over to this guy. We can try to get it in the car. Okay, so got it on. It did fight me a little bit, as you probably saw. These holes down here, for some reason, I don't know if it's just the radiator because it's aftermarket, but it wasn't really fitting these dowels too well. So I did have to go ahead and drill them out a little bit to make those fit. I had to hit it a little bit to try to get this down. It is in place now, so we can go ahead and get this in. Okay, so I do have the two rubber inserts on the bottom, ready to accept the radiator. This guy going in. Of course, the intercooler piping is going to be in the way. Looks like we're good. We can go ahead. Looks like we're good, so we can go ahead, just bolt this in, and we'll have a radiator. And just like that, we have a radiator installed. Just went through, took these guys out a little bit, buttoned these down, and that's it. She's in place. This guy can probably go down a little bit tighter. But honestly, not gonna lie, didn't really get done as much as I wanted. I was really hoping to get the ETS intercooler pipes completely set. It's my fault. I overlooked the fact that there was no coupler. It is what it is, not much you can do. So like I said, in the next video, probably gonna go ahead, try to get the boost controller set up, plumb that all into the turbo, and then I guess maybe get the intake in. From there, it's just the speed density, and I gotta have to look around and just maybe button a couple little things up. But at that point, the engine should be pretty good to try to fire it back up. The gas is super old. Luckily, these tanks do have a plug on the bottom from what I understand. So I will go ahead, pull the plug. There's only like maybe a 1/16 of a tank in there. It's like not a lot at all. So I'll drain that out, put some fresh gas in. Then again, we're gonna have to go try to get oil pressure, get fuel pressure, make sure we have all that. There's a few more things I have to do if I was gonna go ahead and tune the car, because I'm probably gonna do it remotely. So I would have to install an AFR gauge, which there is a bung for the sensor. And then I'll probably install a boost gauge, obviously, as well. Like I said, didn't really get everything I wanted done, but sometimes you just gotta take the wins you get, which like this one would be, we got a radiator now. So it's not really the biggest deal, but there's always tomorrow. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you do find value in it, if you just like seeing me kind of struggle with putting this motor back together, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button, throw me a like, and that's really all I got. So till the next one, peace out, keep wrenching, guys.